Welcome to Startuprad.io, your podcast and YouTube blog covering the German startup scene with news, interviews, and live events.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Joe from Startuprad.io, your startup podcast and YouTube blog from Germany. Today I'm bringing you an interview with Alex from My Football Space in media partnership with the FinTech Forum, which is an annual event taking place in Germany, in Frankfurt, in November each year. Okay, you can already guess it. It's over, but I'm interviewing past participants and I'm very confident Frank will again have another FinTech Forum in November this year. So let me first welcome Alex. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Jörn. It's Alex here. I'm doing very well. Thank you.
As opposed to the usual picture of a founder who starts right from the dorm, you have had a really big professional life before you actually started in a startup, founding your own startup. So I've been stalking you on LinkedIn, and as everybody would like to learn more or connect to you directly, you can go down here in the show notes. There is a link to our blog, and on our blog, there's a link to your personal LinkedIn profile. So when I've been looking through that, I've seen we have something in common. We both did an apprenticeship at the bank. And then I see you've been also a consultant in financial services, capital markets. Can you tell us a little bit about this and how this influenced not only you, but also your life and your view on companies and startups?
Sure. Let me introduce myself. And first of all, maybe a big thank you to you to present me and host me in today's podcast. I'm born and raised in Frankfurt, and Frankfurt is one of the few European cities with a big skyline. And I have to admit, this influenced my career a lot from the start. I was always fascinated by the innovation and dynamics of investment banking. I was really inspired by that and tried to understand and learn the job from scratch. So I did a banking apprenticeship in '95, quite a long time ago. And but that enabled me to understand how banks work from the inside and how financial services actually work, and to differentiate between the work with retail clients and institutional clients and corporate clients. So this was the foundational layer of my financial services career. And post that, I started to work in FX trading for an investment bank, and really learned how derivatives are composed, how pricing of complex financial derivatives works, and how the industry functions, which really gave me a lot of in-depth knowledge of the industry. And given my international and also I would say culturally interested background, I decided to work for a consultancy rather than being stuck in front of 6 or 8 screens. And that was what I wanted to do. So a consultancy was the perfect setup for that. So the first 5 years of my consulting career, I worked for Accenture, which was a great platform. You learn consulting, how projects are set up, how project teams are set up. And that was my starting point as an entrepreneur. I was hired to work for a consultancy in London and set up the German-speaking business for an English for London-based consultancy in capital markets. And as you have seen in my LinkedIn profile, you mentioned this before the call, we both worked for the same managers in the past. I had the pleasure to work with them for Capco, which was a capital markets company, consulting company. And I had the pleasure to build up the German team together with the managing partners there.
As you said, we've been working in a very similar area, but actually we never met in person that we are aware of so far, right?
I guess there's a couple of people we came across that we both. So, but we never met in person. I don't think so.
And now the interesting stuff is you have been with this company for approximately 10 years as a consultant, as a partner, as a member of the managing board. I would be curious, why and how did you decide to then take the big leap of faith and get into entrepreneurship? What did trigger you there?
Well, first of all, after 15 years, it's actually been close to 20 years of consulting. I thought it was a good time to reset, spend some more time with the family. I have 2 kids. I'm happily married, live here in Frankfurt with my family, and I had to work a lot during my career in financial services. So it was a good time to spend some more time with the family, spend some more time with the kids. And as you do that, and as you are in the middle of your life, I don't know what my life expectancy will be, but I'm 44 now, so I guess I have probably reached nearly 50%. And it was a good time to think about what I want to do and what I have passion for. I wasn't really looking for founding a company. The idea really came to me, but I'm very interested in innovative technologies. I'm really passionate about finance, and I'm very passionate about sports. I'm a very active person. And like that, the idea of setting up a sports tech company really just hit me in the face, I must say. And that was the way I started to found the company.
That was something I want to ask you, because usually it's with sports, you're either passionate all through your life, or they never really touch you. For example, for me, I never follow Bundesliga or football or something like this, and so it's one of the people who would not be in your target group. Can you tell us a little bit about your passion for sports and how this actually drove you to your current business idea?
The initial trigger for the business idea was really driven through technology, because I saw the potential of the technology and then combined it with the sport. But to answer your question about sport, one thing that is really common across all sorts of sports, not only football as it is in my company, but really all sports from amateur to professional sport, is the emotion and the passion. The people who play the sport, and also the people who coach the sport, and the people who get entertained by the sport, being parents, friends, or just purely fans. And this is something everybody shares: is the emotion and the passion for the sport and for the activity. And it's a very global thing. There's no difference about the emotion of a fan in Australia, in the US, in Asia, or in Europe. Everybody loves to watch sport and to cheer with it. And when your favorite team wins, this is something which is uncomparable to a lot of other experiences.
I know where you're going at. The only difference may be either the sports you're playing, for example, cricket or rugby, which is not pretty popular in Germany, American football, and another example, or the team you are a fan of. I do believe there's a lot of competition between the teams in the Bundesliga as well. So now we know you have been a partner with a professional service company in capital markets. You are passionate for football, and the business idea actually, as you so literally said, hit you in your face. Can you tell us about the moment and how it actually developed from there?
Of course, I'm telling you really how it worked. So I was attending a blockchain and AI class. I'm currently doing an executive MBA at Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, and I was sitting there, and I've been dealing with blockchain from a cryptocurrency perspective for the last 6-7 years, and so I understood the technology. But as I was sitting there, and the professor was talking about the digitization of assets and his vision that in the next 10-15 years, nearly everything that is of value is going to be represented on blockchain as a technology to securely store and legally represent your ownership. That was really when I thought about that there doesn't exist a platform to date where I, as a fan, would have the ability to invest in a player or in a football club. And that was really the starting point where I was, what usually happens when you have an idea, you probably assume, I don't know the entire market. Let's Google a little bit and research and see if maybe there is a company who offers what you thought was interesting or thought was appealing. But there was nothing. There was no competitor. There's nearly no sports tech company globally that addresses blockchain offerings of blockchain products for the sports industry. That has changed by now. The industry has become very active, but I'm talking about September, October 2019, when I really had this initial idea. So the market was really immature, and the professor was talking about the maturity curve of blockchain as a technology. And I guess the audience who's listening to this would fully agree that blockchain is slowly stepping out of its baby shoes. Maturity level is really reaching a tipping point where mass adoption in multiple industries is about to start. So, but it's still a very immature in terms of market penetration, and that was the point where I really I got really excited about a secure technology, a cheap technology, a technology that allows to divide assets into zillions. You can literally decide yourself in how many pieces you want to strip down your asset. Imagine a beautiful painting that is an asset that is worth multi-millions that you could never take a share in, but now you could legally represent this asset by, say, a million pieces, and suddenly it becomes affordable, and you could really be an owner of a beautiful, very also very costly piece of art that is changing in value, and maybe 10 years later you could have participated in with blockchain allowing this to be easily dividable and making it available to retail customers. There is a lot of merit in this, and I was into football and the ability to look at players as a human being that represents a player, so which regulates is transferred when someone is bought and going to another club and allowing a fan to participate, not so much from an investment perspective, but from the perspective of taking part and being part of the game. I always tell my friends, I think it does make a difference when you are in the stadium and you watch your teams play, and you could actually say, look at the team down there, I own part of them, even if it's just €1 or €2. But suddenly normal people become part of the game and have the option to show their loyalty to the player and also to the club, and potentially even financially support the club. So there's many aspects to this. I think there's many different motivations. I want to make clear at this point, this was never really the perspective of an investment platform, but that was a starting point. And as an entrepreneur, you start investigating your idea and the pros and cons. You do a lot of research. I spoke to a lot of people from the sports industry and fine-tuned the programs and the products. And we are not at the player investment stage yet. Actually, we have changed quite a lot because we understood that offering a product that is so close to an investment thing might address very few fans. I mean, it's very interesting, of course, for those people, but we want to have a product that is appealing to all fans. So we have come up with different ideas.
So bottom line is you fine-tuned your product to be more driven by passion than investment returns. Let us take two perspectives on this product. Let us first go through how it would look like for a person that does not yet have any idea what MyFootballSpace is, and let us get how they would approach it, how they can get into it, how a typical customer journey would look like, and what are the benefits out of that?
Yes, of course. As I said, we want to offer a product that is of global scale and has the ability to address all fans globally and all professional football clubs globally. So if I have a passion for my club and I want to become a member of the family of the club, there is few products available. Of course, I can buy a jersey or I can buy a ticket, but I can't really become a member of the family of the club. So we decided it would be really appealing to rethink membership of a club and offer a digital version of it that is enabling the fan to become part of the club's identity. At this point, I think we need to differentiate between the way things are regulated in Germany versus outside of Germany. We have the Vereinswesen, so the sports club is usually represented by members that have legal voting right. At the end of the year, they decide who's going to be the board of the club, and a very official view. This is not so much the case in other countries. And we don't want to replace this. This is always going to be there and has a lot of, I would say, merit and right to be there. But it's also a very local thing. So personally, I'm a big fan of my local club in Frankfurt, of Eintracht Frankfurt. So yes, I have a membership of this club because I'm locally here. I can go to the members reunion, at the end of the year and vote. This is, of course, something that I could do being locally here. But imagine I was living in London, but I was originally born in Frankfurt. Or imagine I was just born somewhere, but I love Eintracht Frankfurt because the player from my country plays for this club, and I want to be part of the club's identity. And so we have designed what we call a fan badge. It's a licensed club product that allows you to become officially a supporter of the club, and the club would give you specific things that help you in your fan journey. One thing that we realized when we digged into what clubs offer, they usually don't aim to understand their fans very well. Of course, this is changing with digital transformation, as I may call it. But this is a phenomenon, as we've seen with a lot of older type of companies. Old industry was always usually product centric, and the product was in the center of the activity, whereas newer companies, especially tech-driven companies, they try to be very customer-centric and understand the needs of the customer and then adapt the product so they fit the needs of the customer. And we want to enable clubs to understand the needs of the fan. And every fan is different. If you look at big clubs like, say, for example, Barcelona with 250 million fans, or Bayern Munich with over 100 million fans, they have over 50 million Facebook followers, and they have 300,000 members. So there is a huge gap between the followership and the people who actually consider themselves to be part of the club's family as a club member. So and then you ask these clubs, how much do you actually know of your digital fan base? And there's not so much they could say. Of course, there's different analytics those global platforms offer to give them some insight, but the fan is never really asked what they want. And this is what we want to change. We want to offer a product where you could, with 2 or 3 clicks, can become a member of your club. And the club asks you during this process, what are your 2 key interests in the club's products? And the club will not send you advertisement or penetrate you with stuff you don't want to see, but will only give you offers and basically benefits that you're really interested in. Let me make one example to make this more visual. For example, assume I am a very how can I say that? I'm not very wealthy, but I love football. I have a low salary, so I can't spend a lot of money on highly priced events or highly priced merchandise. But I go to the stadium. I try to go to the stadium every other week. So I'm really interested in discounts. Maybe a discount code would be the thing that really triggers me and makes me happy. So the club understands this and then doesn't offer me all the other things, but sends me discount codes or sends me opportunities to make my journey a little bit more affordable, which is of course then leading to more happiness on my side, because I see, okay, the club listens to what I want and doesn't bother me, but rather give me what I want. But there's other fans who are on the other side of the value chain, very wealthy people They don't really care about discounts, but they still love the club. They have a lot of passion for the club, but they would like to get maybe VIP tickets or exclusive content, exclusive meetings with specific people, and are willing to pay a lot of money for this. These people also don't want to be penetrated with offers for all the other stuff, but they would like to be triggered on those things. So at the moment, the club understands the different need patterns of their fans. The club can better work with it and also create a more happy fan base. Yeah.
And all those benefits basically come from, you go on your website. The link, of course, is down here in the show notes. You go, you purchase a digital membership there and then fill out the questions, as you said, on the app, and this all is blockchain based, and you get a digital blockchain based membership in the respective football club. Is that about right?
That is about right. I mean, the website, we will have an app as the main platform for our fans. We will also integrate a lot of the functionality, or at least we offer it to be integrated in the club's IT infrastructure. Especially the client onboarding is not something that you have to do on our platform. But as technology gets more complex, also the clubs understand that some things, it makes more sense to actually use it on a platform rather than trying to integrate everything in your own IT infrastructure. But we are really open to discuss this with according to the club's needs. But yes, you will do that on our app in your example, and offer digital membership. You said blockchain based. Yes, it's blockchain based, and we get the question a lot. Why does a membership have to be blockchain based? Let me elaborate on that a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Of course, a pure membership badge doesn't have to be on blockchain as a technology, although you could already argue, since it's a document of authentication or identification, it makes sense that it's on a technology that allows to do that in a secure way, because it's an identification document towards your club. But then if you think this a little further, and we were talking about voting rights before, we believe family members of a club or of a union, they should be allowed to be asked a couple of things and participate and actually voice their opinion and vote about a couple of things. And as we're talking about voting rights, which are attached to the fan badge per se, it's nothing that you can purchase. The voting right will be part of your membership. Then it's very important that you understand in an authentic way that this person has voted. So it can't be compromised, and the club can be sure, and also the voters can be sure that maybe no bot or no other technology has compromised your voting system and is tweaking decisions in one or the other way. But it's really transparent for the club and for the fans to see, okay, this is a real voting that happened. And then if you think this a little further, why blockchain is so important, there's a lot of products down the road in our platform that will require secure technology. When you talk about digital assets, for example, imagine a club issues certain things virtually, which is definitely something especially interesting for kids, like your skins in Fortnite. But these things are assets that you can actually buy. You can buy from your club. Fans can really have a lot of fun with that. This is definitely not for everybody. But for the people who are passionate about virtual items and digital items, this is really a cool thing that you can also experience in many other areas of your life already. But football clubs, especially in Germany, are still very conservative about it. So we will see where the journey takes us. But blockchain as a technology layer for our products, we believe is the right thing to enable this in the future.
Mm-hmm. I understand. What are the benefits for the different groups of fans and customers? The football club actually learns something about their fans and like their geographical distribution, stuff like this. Are there additional benefits for the club despite learning and being better in reaching out and understanding the fans?
Of course, there's a lot of benefits for the clubs, as we believe. First of all, I think we have to be clear for the club. There's two main benefits. It is getting to know the interests of your fans, but also a monetization aspect. Professional football clubs have a huge commercial responsibility that is required to fund the sporting activity. And this is something that is disputed heavily by fans, because fans see clubs getting too commercial, maybe trying to commercialize fans too much, and the industry is getting away from their original heritage, which is, of course, very much driven around the pure sport and the athletes. So, but still, clubs have to have a commercial agenda in order to maintain and sustain their sports business. So this is a big thing, and we believe, as we are enabling the club to bring the fans globally closer to the club due to a membership which you have to pay for, this will give the club a better financial footing. It's nothing that you have to let's put it this way. You can't become a better fan because you invest more money. There's be a standard price, but because you have so many fans, there's a huge financial potential for a lot of football clubs. Let me give one example, and maybe staying with the big German club. Bayern Munich is the biggest club in terms of members globally. They have 300,000 members, but if you compare this number to their fan base, which is over 100 million, this 300,000 is a really minute figure. And we believe there are a lot of fans out there who would love to become a part of the club's family, but they need something that is easier to access than an online form that you have to fill, rather than what we offer in 2-3 clicks, which is a typical user experience in a lot of apps we have nowadays with modern apps and tech companies. And we believe there is a huge market for and a big interest in the fans of Bayern Munich. And imagine 2 or 3 million convert and buy this digital membership. Imagine a membership costs €2 a month. That would revenue for the club €6 million a month and over 70 million a year, which of course is, even for a big super club like Bayern Munich, a lot of money in their annual budget. So, and I think this gives you a little bit of an idea where it becomes interesting for clubs. They increase their fan base. They actually convert them to members, which is a very intuitive thing for a club. It's nothing where you can really talk about over commercialization, because increasing the family and allowing people who share a love of the club to become a member is nothing where you could really have a bad feeling. They're not selling like, okay, if you pay more, you become a better fan, but everybody is the same. And with that, the club can of course have a better financial footing. So these, we believe, are the two main benefits, at least at the forefront. If you look a little bit deeper, of course, clubs will prepare themselves for the next generation of fans, which are going to be Gen Z fans, which are going to be more tech savvy fans. And clubs at the moment offer very little for these type of fans. There is a lot of research out there that stipulates that these fans probably will struggle watching a full game in front of a screen. They will always have their tablet or phone, in one hand, maybe need a second screen and to do something while they're watching the game. And this has to be addressed. Some clubs tap into esports, which is a very interesting thing. Personally, I have to admit I'm not a big esports user at the moment. This is because I was never a big gamer, but I believe that for the younger generation, this is how clubs have to set themselves up in a more digital way and offer more digital products for their fans, to allow especially those who can't be in the stadium to partake and share their emotion.
And that also answers one of the questions I would have had in store for you, because I assume since 2 years from the fan are the monthly fees. So basically you will take a small cut of these fees for your services, I assume.
Yeah, the way we haven't really, I have to admit, we haven't really sorted this out yet, because we're really just driven by the idea of increasing the fan base. But yes, there will be a commercial arrangement in place with the clubs that allows us to cover our costs and make some money. But our main idea is to improve the fan engagement and prepare the clubs for the next generation.
We are now recording for more than 30 minutes. Thank you very much for being so open so far with us. We just talked about money, and I would be curious how you guys are, one, financed, and second, are you guys open for external investments if an investor watches this?
We are, about the company, we are 6 people in the management team, and we are 9 staff in total. We are growing, and we are hiring mostly IT and marketing staff to get the message out and to build the IT platform. We have already collected investor money. We had the second capital round, one by the management team and one by business angels. And we are seeking capital towards end of Q2, beginning of Q3 this year.
Mm-hmm. Everybody who'd like to reach out to you can do this down here. There's not only your personal LinkedIn profile, but also the company website. What you guys are currently looking for, I assume not only a lot of fans of their respective football clubs, but also people in the management of football clubs who would be open to work with you guys, right?
That's correct. We are already talking to a lot of Bundesliga clubs. There is a lot of interest. I think this is because of 2 reasons. First of all, the topic of digital business models in current times is more relevant than ever. I think it's always been on the agenda of football clubs, but now it has become even more relevant because fans can't attend in the stadium any longer, and clubs have to adjust. So there is a lot of openness from the clubs. We're having a lot of very active conversations. And secondly, we have an investor team and a management team that is very close to football and brings a lot of football background, and with that a lot of football network. So we're having a lot of conversations, but we're of course always open for new conversations. And if people are listening and think this is interesting for them, I'd be more than glad to have a conversation. Definitely.
Great. And everybody who'd like to learn more, we'll have you guys linked down here. People can just visit your website and then download your app. Is your app already available?
We're building the app. The app will be available in the App Store, we believe, towards the end of the year. There's a lot of work to be done to get it right. We will pay a lot of attention towards usability and making it easy and intuitive to use. And that's why it's going to take some time.
Okay, so everybody who'd like to download the app, you guys will share it with us, and then we'll disseminate it across all social media channels and add it here, likely beginning of 2022. Alex, it was such a pleasure having you here. People may have noticed a few interruptions, but we also will also edit out a lot of those interruptions, meaning we're recording now for more than 35 minutes and the actual interview will be shorter. And this is due to all the restarts that we had due to the small interruptions. Thank you very much for sticking with me. It was a pleasure talking to you, and best of luck.
Thank you, Jörn, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
That's all, folks. Find more news, streams, events, and interviews at www.startuprad.io. Remember, sharing is caring.